So, if you're a fan of the Dragon Ball Z series, then I'm sure this game would bring back those retro memories you had during your childhood. And for those of you out there who are in the another type of category wondering what's Dragon Ball Z and what's this game all about, then you come to the right place.
And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me
So, originally, the whole franchise is titled as Dragon Ball, featuring our main protagonist, Goku, and all the other secondary characters. It's originally a Japanese media franchise created by Akira Toriyama in 1984. So, the story features about son Goku from his childhood through adulthood as he trains in martial arts. He spends his childhood far from civilization until he meets a teen girl named Bulma, who encourages him to join her quest in exploring the world in search of the seven orbs, known as Dragon Balls, which summon a wish granting dragon when granted. Along his journey, Goku makes several other friends, many of whom who seek the Dragon Balls. Then the story later gets divided into two series, which is the Dragon Ball and then the Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball is one of the top 20 highest grossing media franchises of all time, having generated more than $20 billion in total. So now to today's game review, which is going to be the latest installment of the Dragon Ball Z franchise, which is the Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. So this game follows the main protagonist Goku and the Z fighters in the adaptation of the Dragon Ball Z series. So according to IGN's review by Michelle Salzman, unlike most video games of this franchise, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot follows a role-playing game format rather than a fighting game. So advertised by Bandai Namco Entertainment website, this allows the player to do more than just battle their opponents, but also fish, eat, train, and play as if the player is part of the surrounding Dragon Ball world. The game follows the progression of the Dragon Ball Z animated series while the player interacts with the surrounding world as the different playable characters. This allows the player to explore the world, complete side quests, and progress the story. Despite the fact that Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is a comedy, the combat scenarios give you a sense of urgency. So if someone's been kidnapped, you feel like it's your duty to go rescue them immediately. However, since it's a game, this is foolhardy. Many enemies are a couple of enemies will be high level. Grinding some side quests is a sensible approach here, and you should always stick to it. Also, it has a number of upgrade mechanics that can be confusing to understand.
I like to do a little image training every now and then to make sure I don't get too rusty. Time to see what I can do. And you're just the guy to help me do that.
While the whole world is an interesting addition in the Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, mostly because it allows you to interact with familiar characters and learn more about the franchise. It can't be compared to titles like The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt, or other proper role-playing games. So the real star of the show is still the fighting. The combat is complex but accessible. It's easy to block, attack, and pull off unbelievable combos that make you feel like a superpowered Saiyan. There are a lot of super skills to unlock, moves to upgrade, and playstyles to experiment with that will take you up to a dozen of hours just doing that. And I'm not even talking about exploring the whole world in that which counts. So each punch feels like there's weight behind it and the animations are spot on. If you punch your enemies into the ground, they will crash through rocks and leave a trail of destruction, validating your awesome powers. So, since you take control of various characters, you'll have to determine what's the best skill for them, each of them have. For example, Piccolo, the green guy, can fire a laser out of his hand, while Goku our main character, is the smash is the go-to ability. We'll have to figure out what works for you because some people will want to use ranged attacks while others will want to get up close and personal. Throughout the campaigns, you'll become even stronger as you face off against unbelievable enemies. So try to keep on experimenting as you find new powers because you never know what you'll need to use in the future. You should evolve your fighting style as your hours go by in Dragon Ball Z Kakarot because it will keep you competitive and you can take on large bosses, with big health. So according to James O'Connor of GameSpot, there has also been reports by Bandai Namco Entertainment of future content for the game, so being released pertaining to the next series of the Dragon Ball Super, which is after the Dragon Ball Z and which is after Dragon Balls. So it was it is the best video game of the month of January 2020 in the US, being the third best release of a Dragon Ball game in history, being below the Dragon Ball Fighter Z and the Dragon Ball Z Budokai, which was initially for the PSP and PS2. So Dragon Ball Z Kakarot looks amazing on Xbox One because it appears to be running at a 4K resolution on the system, but the catch here is only 30 FPS. Meanwhile in PC I think it's only 1080p for the moment, but it has more than 60 FPS. So Dragon Ball Z has a couple of problems aside from its frame rate target. Outside of the fighting, the animations, especially when interacting with characters, feel stiff and don't quite represent the quality found in the anime. Even during in-game cutscenes, it looks like Goku and the others are doing the bare minimum to restrain an opponent because they hardly move. Aside from the story missions, side quests doesn't feature a voice acting. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot features the ability to fly. Unfortunately, the controls feel quite erratic because it's like controlling a helicopter. You can just increase your elevation and decrease it. They should have, the game doesn't allow you to use the camera to look where you want to go. Instead, you gotta press the up button to go up and down. On many occasions, it seems like the open world wasn't given enough attention. It deserved compared to the fighting portions of the game. Although overall, Dragon Ball Z is a good Kakarot is a good game, but it may not appeal to everyone. If you have seen the anime series, you know what to already expect from this game. This can make the entire game seem a bit dull since there are no surprises to you. However, if you're looking for an experience where you can relive the best Dragon Ball Z movements and the Dragon Ball Super in the future, and get immersed in an open world with varying environments and many characters, then you should definitely pick this game up. So the pros are excellent fighting mechanics, great visuals, fun open world activities, and a very lengthy campaign. Cons: poor animations outside fighting, intermittent voice acting, confusing perk and skill trees, archaic flying mechanics. Well, that's it from this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.